In any fighting game you play, there's always characters out there that are going to be difficult, because they require a little bit more attention to their fundamentals. Things such as execution, spacing, playstyle, and other types of mechanics. These types of characters are the ones that need to be careful when first starting out. Welcome to my top 5 hardest to play characters in Mortal Kombat 11. What is going on, guys? My name is Mad Dog Games and welcome to another episode for my beginner tips series. A series where I'll help you figure out how to get started and overcome the common problems new players face. But before we get started, I do have other playlists on the channel that you might be interested in. I have also made a video similar to this called the 5 easiest characters to play a little while back. All found in the description down below. Here is my question of the day. Who are the 5 characters you think are the hardest to play? I'm very curious on what you guys have to say. For me, personally, I find Sindel the hardest to play, and it's not because I play with her one-handed each time. Jokes aside, let us get started. The first character that comes in mind is Fujin. Fujin is a character that I think is very difficult for anyone to start out with. I made a community post a while ago, and Fujin was an obvious pick for many players as well. I think we all know why, but for those who don't, let's find out. Fujin mechanics are challenging as it requires you to understand high execution and high level of mobility. His combos are not beginner friendly as most of his moves are unsafe and have strict timing to them. Now, taking a look at his basic move list, the first thing you'll notice is that his normals are a little on the slower side. Other than his standing 1 and down 1, Fujin's standing 2 is 11 frames, back 1 is 13 frames, forward 3 is 16 frames, back 2 is 18 frames, and forward 2 is 20 frames. The ranges on these attacks makes up for the lack of speed, but as a new player, even getting to use your basics will be a little challenging. Now, Fujin's strongest move, Howling Winds, is 13 frames and covers a lot of range. Unfortunately, this and many other special moves are unsafe on block. There are ways to make them safe by canceling into certain attacks. For example, if you're using the first variation, you can use Retreating Tornado to make Howling Winds safe, or canceling into an amplified warp needle found in the second variation. Fujin's overall playstyle works in this kind of fashion. You have to be very technical in all the tools that you're given. Like another example, Divine Wind allows you to hover in the air and punish any low incoming attacks. But be careful as this is punishable. You can however switch it up on your opponent and use aerial special move to create new combo pathways. Variation 2 gives you enhanced mobility to run around and get your damage in. Although this seems like the coolest variation, it's risky and relies on high technical skill to master. All these tools just proves how Fujin's execution is pretty high. Playing as Fujin, it means you like to put hours and hours on end into mastering a character. Fujin's tools can be difficult to use. His combos are flashy, sure, but the low damage makes it not worth the risk. The next character on the list is Shao Kahn, a character that has been treated unfairly in this game. For someone that calls people out, "You suck!" it's both funny and ironic, because he is supposed to be a boss character after all. Shao Kahn in Mortal Kombat 11 is a unique spot as he is easy to execute combos with, but hard to master. At this moment, he is difficult to play because of slow attacks and projectiles, unsafe strings, and his best offensive go-to move can be countered very easily. Let us start out with his strengths, because Shao Kahn actually has some pretty good things going for him. Let us start off with the obvious. Shao Kahn has one of the best damaging combos in the game. He can deal about 35 to 40% damage no problem. He also has a few armor breakers to counter with, like Scum Grab, Shoulder Charge, and or Skewered. Others are that his movement is pretty good, has good long range attacks, and great anti-airs. But here's where Shao Kahn starts to fall behind. He does have problems getting his combo game going due to how slow his attacks can be. Like first, his basic standing 1 is 9 frames, which is slow for a standing jab. I think he is one of the only characters whose poke is this slow. Everyone's jab is 7 if not 8 frames. And what hurts him a lot is that plenty of his attacks have gaps. Attacks like You Will Fail forward 2-1 starts as a high, and leaves you open for a punish because the mid comes out at 22 frames. Another one is You Will Die 2-1, and its low comes out at 21 frames. Third, Conquer All 4-4, again starts as a high, and its mid comes out at 28 frames. There's a lot of attacks that are like this. Now as for his go-to move, 4-3-4 is his best tool because it has a 10 frame startup, has a low, and the longer version does lead to a command grab. However, this can easily be countered in numerous ways. First, your 4-3 is negative at 8, 4-3-4 is negative 12, and then this can be also flawless blocked. Not to mention that the low attack of this string comes out at 19 frames, making it very predictable to anticipate, making your only go-to move very risky to use, and this is just the beginning. Most of your special moves are not useful at close range either because of the slow startup, so there's no reliable safe option for you. Playing as Shao Kahn, it means you have to deal with a lot of unfair matchups and having to be careful in everything that you're using. Ever since the game came out, Shao Kahn has been always low tier, and that is why he is difficult to use. Next on my list is Skarlet, a unique pick as she is very easy to execute but hard to master. She's another character that has the potential to be very good, but man, a lot of things are holding her back. Buff Skarlet, am I right? Skarlet has struggled ever since the game came out, and honestly are things that can easily be fixed, and yet nothing has been done. Skarlet struggles against other matchups because of the slow normals, gaps in many strings, low damage, no combo variety, and projectiles that can easily be avoided. Now, taking a look at her overall move list, you can tell right away that she does not offer a lot of tools to begin with. In a way, this makes it easier to remember her move list, but is limited on the things she can do. The main issue on Skarlet is that many of her tools are just decent or lacking in certain areas. But let us start off with her strengths. Skarlet has some pretty good strings that she can use at close range. You can use just Marrow Massacre, which leaves you -1 on block, but along with Blood Tentacle, it's great for pressure and hit confirming for more damage. Whip Snap into Blood Tentacle is another good one. Then we also have her long range attacks that can be used as well. Unfortunately, this and many other pressure tools have gaps and can be flawless blocked, giving your opponent a chance to counter you. I think she's one of the only characters that has this much gaps on her strings. It sucks because this just eliminates your only game plan as Skarlet. And to make matters worse, her damage is just sad. Her crushing blows are not even worth the time and effort. And as for her projectiles, she sometimes loses against certain matchups with characters that have stronger zoning. This leaves you with practically nothing, cause Skarlet only works well at the neutral/zoning area. It's why you never see her online or in competitive play at all. Most people pick Skarlet because of her appearance. Hey, I don't blame you, I did the same when I first started out, but quickly realized how she can be very limited. She doesn't necessarily excel in anything, and that is why she is hard to play with. Next on the list is Kollector, one of the most forgotten characters in Mortal Kombat 11, and there is a reason why. Kollector is a character that has never seen any spotlight from the community until Sonic Fox decided to pick him up. But even then, many have dropped it completely because of how challenging it can be to use him effectively. What makes Kollector difficult to play is because of slow normals, unsafe strings, and plenty of attacks are not worth the risk. Taking a look at his move list, Kollector's best attack is his Sickle Slice, forward 1 attack, because it has pretty good range and is a low mix-up and is -1 on block. It can be used to stagger and pressure as it brings the opponent close to you, and using the extended version, Gotten Gains, forward 1-2 is great for leading it to a combo. His Ravages of Time 4-4-3 has a lot of potential because it can whiff punish anything due to its long range and far reaching low. And lastly, Kollector has one of the best command grabs because it's a mid, making it less risky for him when using it. Other than that, his game plan starts to get difficult from here, because many will anticipate the low, most opponents will block low for the rest of the match, leaving you with Slice and Dice or Depth is Paid for mix-ups. They're both not very good because they will leave you punishable at -14 or -15 on block. I don't see why would you do any of these as the reward is not great either. Even cancelling your damn Bola back forward 4 is putting you at risk. Which makes you think, what do you do from here? As for his 4-4-3, although it's great for its range, it's risky and punishable if they block the low. The low does come out pretty late, making it predictable and easy to punish at his -20 on block. Playing as Kollector, it means you like to play risky while bringing rare tools into the table. He's great if you wanted to bring surprises, but just know that you'll be working hard to get your game plan going. Honorable mentions. Before we get into our last one, I do want to mention other difficult characters. Kano, Robocop, Kitana. The final character on the list is Dvorah. Coming from MKX, she definitely has fallen off the charts by a lot. Dvorah is a character that is hands down the most difficult to play in my opinion, and that is because she has a lot of things going against her. The only person I've seen committed playing her is Honeybee, and for that, I have a lot of respect for him. Right now, she is difficult to play because of slow frame attacks, unsafe strings, limited options, and her move list feels somewhat incomplete. Taking a look at her move list, Dvorah's best move is her bot fly, forward 1-3 attack, as it has good range, easy to hit confirm, and is safe on block at -6. Definitely your go-to move for starting combos. Another best thing about her is her deadly sting. Jump 1 is one of the strongest jump attacks in this game, and that is because of the long horizontal hitbox. This allows her to whiff punish opponents trying to press buttons. But ultimately, what Dvorah excels well in is her ability to set traps for your opponent. Using Widow's Kiss down back 3 is great as it stuns your opponent long enough to use Ground Swarm, down back 1, to create a difficult mix-up. But here's when she starts to falling off by a lot. For one, you're not able to use 1-2 into Widow's Kiss. Another one is that Dvorah's only mid, Siafu, forward 2-2 starts at 19 frames, and leaves you at -12 on block, making it difficult for you to use this other than a whiff punish tool. If you try using the full version, it does end up as a high, which again puts you at a difficult spot. If you want to be safe, you can use Catapult, Rush, down back 4, and spend a bar. Or equip Parasite ability, which gives you access to Set Save, forward 2-2, down 1+3, which ends as an overhead and leaves you -2 on block, but the gap is wide enough to be flawless blocked, which limits your options at a high level match. And this is just the beginning. Most of her variations honestly are not worth equipping because they leave her at a risky situation. Playing as Dvorah, it means you will have to be careful in everything that you're doing, as your tools like pokes, traps, and special moves always put you in a difficult situation, and honestly, sometimes it's not worth the reward. Her risky playstyle while having no tools to keep you safe is why I find her difficult to play. So I'm not saying that these characters are bad, they're not. There just takes a lot of effort to make them good. It'll be difficult for a new player that is starting off playing these characters. By the time I upload this, Mortal Kombat 11 custom variations will be now available in tournament play, which means there's a possibility that these characters improve some of their weaknesses in some way. But overall, I think this shouldn't change the list that much. Anyways, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon because in the next video for the series, we'll be talking about terminologies in Mortal Kombat 11. With Mortal Kombat Ultimate bringing new players, I think this is the perfect time covering our basics. This is Mad Dog Games, thank you so much for watching, and thanks for helping this channel reach to 34,000 subscribers. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys next time.